Hey guys, it's Rebecca Oberstadt. In today's video, I'm going to be doing swatch comparisons to other Colourpop shadows that I have that match the Wine and Only palette. I've heard some people talk about the fact that they don't want to buy it because they don't need this dark of a palette. So I pulled all of the palettes that I own that might have, I even pulled any of the singles that I have that might be somewhat similar to this palette, to do comparison swatches. And you're already flaking on the counter. How rude. I will be doing inside video as well as outside video, but first we're going to start with the Raw Beauty Christie at Forest Site palette. There's been a lot of talk about this one too. I haven't swatched this one out yet, or the two here, but I wanted to give you guys some insight with working with both of these palettes. The matte shades are super pigmented. A little goes a long way, and a light tap in the pan will get you quite far. And if you look, there is some powder residue on this one that wants to fall out on the counter, and that's what I'm talking about. Because it's very kind of crumbly, the mattes are super richly pigmented, so I would be very careful about that. Comparing it to this one, there are two shades in here I want to compare, are the Homegrown and the Amanita shade. Now Amanita feels a little gritty to me, and Homegrown is going to be more brown. So I'm going to do the comparison shades on the top. I always do double swatches. It's just how I am. But these are like super richly pigmented shades, so a little goes a long way. I would say start off with a little bit and build and blend and build and blend. Just for the simple fact that I know that these shadows can be very crumbly and hard to work with. I am using my Fabletics cloth wet to get swatches off. That Amanita shade does have a tendency to stain a little bit as well. I have noticed it does stain a little bit depending on how long you wear it, and if you use a primer or concealer or whatever, it does not seem to stop it. So if you make boo-boos, get it off like ASAP. Now in this palette, between these two colors, I'm gonna grab Vintner and mull it over. I think these are going to be probably the closest in here. And Vintner does feel a little bit gritty. And I got fallout everywhere. Now, because both of those shadows are similar but not close enough, let's try mixing them. I like mixing shadows to see what I can find that's similar. This is definitely more purple, and that's more brown than any of these. But it is a pretty good close comparison. Again, the fallout is definitely real on this. Now I want to grab some of these single shadows. I have this one here, which is, this is a Liar Liar, and I'm going to compare it to this one. I think this one, the Blanco shade, is darker. Oh yeah, Liar Liar is much lighter than Blanco, so that is no comparison at all. And then I have this one here. Get it off. This one is Call You Mine. I am drying my fingers off in between swatches. I'm going to do Casta Chateau shade. I'm gonna grab this one and see how similar that one is. Ooh. Not. Okay, so Play to Wine. Definitely not. And Mon Chéri. Ooh, that one's really close. I'm gonna grab this one, and we'll swatch it up here just for S&Gs. arm hair's getting in the way. I think mixing the two, it's similar, but I think Mon Chéri on its own is very similar. This has more bronze in it, whereas this one has more of a plum base. But mixing those two shades is, you know, here is very similar. So there's two similar-ish shades. And I'm sure they have other singles that you can buy that would be similar. Those are just the ones that I own. I don't think anything in here is gonna be similar, but I pulled it just to be safe. I'm not seeing any similar shades, so we're gonna, you know, just put that one aside. Now, the So Jaded palette, I saw a couple of colors in here that would be very similar. I literally have shadow on the side of my sink from fallout from this palette. It's really bad. Okay, so in this palette, we have Ruby, which I'm gonna go ahead and swatch here because the other red shades are there. It's close to Play to Wine, but Play to Wine is more copper based, where this one's definitely more red. And then we have Garnet here. I think we need a double swatch at Garnet. That was sad. I did another swatch video before this, so my arms are probably really dry. This one here is comparable to these two as well. And the mixed shade is closer to it as well. This is more of a red base where this one's more purple. So I think those would be very comparable as well. All right, clean fingers. Now the only other shade in here that I saw that might be similar is this ametrine shade. It is a matte with glitter in it, just like Sip Sip. Sip Sip is also a matte with glitter. This one looks more purple, whereas this one has more pink to it. So we're gonna do Sip Sip down here, and then ametrine up here. And they're both mattes with glitters. They're both kind of like weird, dry feeling shades that have glitter that you can literally just blow off your arm. They don't swatch very well. Yeah, this one's definitely more of a rose, whereas this one's more of a mauve. Very similar though. Holy bunch of palette fallout. So those are the only comparisons that I can see out of the few palettes that I do own from Colourpop. I do not own a whole lot from Colourpop, but out of the few that I do own, there is a couple of matches or similar shades. So if you own either the At Foresight, the single, or this one, do you need this one because you already have, you know, in here you've got one shade, I've got one single, and then there's you know, 3 shades in here that are kind of similar, but none of them are spot on matches, and that's what I like to compare. So if you were curious like I was if any of these would be similar, then there you go. These are just the palettes that I own. The only other Colourpop palettes that I own are the Honey and that Fade into Hue, which didn't have anything similar. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful. I do not own a whole lot of Colourpop. This is basically everything. Those other 2 palettes, the singles, and then these here. That's all I own from Colourpop. So yeah, if you have a larger Colourpop collection, you might be able to find some more comparisons than I did, but this is all I own. So hopefully it is helpful to somebody. So yeah, I will see you guys outside. I will do in the shade video as well as direct sunlight video so you can see what these look like in natural lighting. And I will see you outside in just a second. Well, it's only 4 o'clock and I came out here to do outside video with direct sunlight, and there is no sun left, so crap. Anyways, this is the swatch comparison of the wine palette that is here. I don't know what I did in my hand. It's bleeding. So this is the Wine and Only palette from Colourpop. And then up here we have 2 shades from the Raw Beauty Christie. We have 2 singles. This is a mix of these 2 shades here, trying to find something similar. And then we have 3 shades from the Kathleen Lights It's So Jaded palette. Some very similar shades, nothing exact. Even mixing colors, I didn't find anything that was exactly the same. And this shade here was no comparison at all. You can't even see it on my arm out here. But yeah, the lightest shade in the Wine and Only palette is much darker. Oh boy, it's getting chilly. It was beautiful earlier. Where'd my sun go? Can I have my sun back? Anyways, I will try and see what sunlight there is at the end of the driveway. We have no direct sunlight right now. It's like all cloud cover, which sucks. Alright, we're at the end of the driveway. There's like no sun because it's all cloud cover, but this is as best as I can do for you guys. I think, like I said before, actually I think the shaded tree cover shows how close these are than it does even out here. Yep, creepy neighbor's in the doorway watching me. Every time I come out of the house, he's out. Freaking creep. But yeah, if you're interested in some wine and dark berry shades, then I would say get the Wine and Only palette. I'm having fun with it. And if you do like these swatch videos that I do, where I do inside and outside lighting, then give me a thumbs up down below. I'd appreciate it. And I will see you guys in another video very soon. Have a fantabulous day or night wherever you are. The sheriff that just drove by is probably like, oh Lord, she's at it again. I will see you guys later. Bye.